Hi everyone. Today I'm going to share with you a way to maximize your earnings. It's actually very simple. Drive during the peak hours. That is when demand is the highest, and that is also when you can complete the most trips because there's surge that also increases your fares. So which are the peak hours? There are usually three main types of peak hours. One, morning peak, which is Monday to Friday 6 to 10 a.m. Two, evening peak, which is Monday to Friday 5 to 11 p.m. And lastly, on the weekends. So why are these peak hours important? The morning peak hours are the times that drivers can make the most money in the shortest amount of time. During these hours, people are trying to get to work, and because they need to be on time and in urgent need of a car, they're usually willing to pay higher surge prices. It is important to come online even before 7 a.m. because that's when demand starts to increase very sharply. In the evenings, people are trying to leave their office to go home, go out for dinner, go out for drinks. On Friday nights, people are very busy because they have dinner plans, they have parties to go to, they have drinks to go to, friends to meet. Now let's see which areas receive the most demand. First, we start with the weekday morning peak hours. Keep in mind that high demand comes from high residential areas. These include our usual high demand areas like River Valley, Lower Bukit Timah, Newton, Novena, Mountbatten, and Orchard. But of course, there is so much more demand in the neighboring housing estates like Bukit Batok, Serangoon, Ang Mo Kio, Hougang, Upper East Coast Road, and Tampines. In the early evenings, head to areas where people work, as this is where they'll be looking for a ride to go home or to go to dinner. And then in the later evening, look for areas with a lot of restaurants and bars, for example, Tanjong Pagar, Duxton, Club Street, or Marina Bay. On the weekends, that's when families have activities together. They usually go out for lunch, sometimes go out for dinner, visiting friends and family, so that's why they need to travel around. During the weekend, demand is quite spread out because people are going from activity to activity all around the country. But during the afternoons, River Valley and Orchard Road tend to be pretty busy because, people in Singapore, they like to shop and eat, so that's where they usually go. And in the evenings, places with a lot of bars and restaurants like Clarke Quay, Robertson Quay, Boat Quay, Duxton, Marina Bay, all those areas should be quite busy as well. Because morning peak hours are the best times to drive to earn money, let us focus on each hour of the morning peak. So before 8 a.m. from about 7 to 8, we find that big housing estates like Bukit Batok, Serangoon, Hougang generate the most demand, and we have data to back that up. Those living in the west or northeast, this is your chance to optimize your earnings. And even if you don't live there, if you've already dropped someone off in the CBD, head to those areas, and chances are you'll probably get a call on the way to those areas. Please note that at 7 a.m., that's when our demand starts to shoot up very fast. From 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., that is when demand is sky high and usually comes from many parts around the island. This is when people are the most desperate to get to work on time, since a lot of offices open and start at 8:30 or 9 a.m. Our data shows that Bukit Batok, Ang Mo Kio, Kallang, Tampines, Pasir Ris, Upper East Coast Road are our top demand areas during this time. If you already did a trip before this and already dropped your passenger off in the CBD, remember to head out of the CBD towards these areas. Lastly, from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., that's usually when the latecomers are trying very desperately to get to work. Our data shows that Bukit Batok, Ang Mo Kio, Kallang, and Hougang receive the most rider requests. So if you're online during that time, those are the places to go to. Before I wrap up, I want to touch on one last point before closing. This is the most important one, since a lot of the trips in the morning end up in areas with high density of offices. For example, a lot of trips end up in the CBD. It is very important that you do not stay and wait in the CBD. You may ask me, why is that? Well, no one really lives in the CBD, so if you wait in the CBD, you'll really be wasting your time. So we urge you to move out of the CBD after you drop off your rider to neighboring residential estates. You have the choice of moving westward toward Bukit Timah or Bukit Batok. You have the choice of moving northwards to Serangoon or Ang Mo Kio, or you can even move to the east towards Upper East Coast Road. I hope you found this presentation helpful. So if you can, get on the roads as early as possible in the morning. Drive safe and Uber on.